How we doing, everybody? UFC Thoughts here. And today, I'm going to recap UFC Vegas 89, Hebos versus Namajunas. This card was way more fun than it should have been, and I have found my new guy to start these videos off with, Igor Severino, which I'll talk about near the end of the video, but holy fuck. This card was insane. We're going to start with the main event, of course. Rose Namajunas defeated Amanda Hebos unanimous decision. I think there was two 49-46s and then one 48-47, which is what I predicted would happen. Yeah, this fight was, not as entertaining as it could have been, let's be honest. But it was kind of fun. There were some fun moments in here. I loved the scramble exchange in, I think, round 3 or 2, where I think Amanda flipped Rose, and then Rose ended up on her back. It was a weird fight. It looked mostly like a sparring match, if that makes any sense. It felt like neither lady was putting a lot of sauce on any of their strikes. It was mostly a pitter-patter. I don't think either of these women tried to, finish the fight, if I'm being honest. Other than Amanda Hebos with the 13 spinning wheel kicks she threw. Holy shit. And also, can I say, I'm very impressed with Amanda Hebos' cardio, because, holy hell, she didn't look like she was breathing hard whatsoever. And I don't know if that's just because she paced herself well for a 5-round fight, but yeah. This scorecard makes sense. I saw a fucking Hung Ko, if that's how you say his name, had it 30-27 Amanda Hebos after round 3. What the fuck is that guy smoking? Am I right? But, this fight had some fun moments. It was mostly Amanda was kind of out-voluming Rose throughout the fight, but Rose would land the better strikes. I think Amanda could have probably won this fight if she would have followed a good game plan of throwing leg kicks, trying to land more leg kicks, and not giving up on them throughout the fight. Because throwing leg kicks on Rose kind of nullifies her style, very jump-heavy, lunge-heavy attacks. And also, Amanda kind of threw away some rounds by not getting up after mistakes that she made, going for judo throws. She ended up on her back 4 times, I'd say. It's just not a good look. But yeah, the fight was quite fun. I thought Rose definitely won, and I finally got a main event right. My picks on this card were ass. I got most of them wrong, but I got the fucking main event right. Let's fucking go. But yeah, Rose got her hand raised. Is what it is. We move to the very stinky co-main event. Karl Williams beat Justin Tafa by unanimous decision. I think 2 29-28s and 1 30-27, which is a total bogus scorecard. He didn't win the third round. But Karl Williams was able to impose his will on a guy that I didn't think he was going to be able to impose his will on. Justin Tafa, who had 100% takedown defense inside the UFC, kind of got mopped around by this other kind of big heavyweight guy, I guess. I don't really know. This fight is just both heavyweight fights on this card sucked dick. Muhammad Usman, which I'll talk about at the end of the video, right? But both these are heavyweight contenders nowadays. These 4 guys that fought on this card are seen as heavyweight contenders or prospects. This division fucking sucks, okay? Karl Williams had no success on the feet. He looked like a fucking fish out of water, and he's lucky Justin Tafa, besides having swift kicks, he has no fundamentals on the feet to be able to find a KO. He has no idea that every single time Karl Williams is dipping to his left side or dipping to his right, an uppercut would have sent this man into the fucking stratosphere. He's going for over-the-top punches. What the fuck are you doing? I don't even know why I'm mad. I picked Karl Williams to win. I picked him to win because I knew he was going to win, because I knew Justin Tafa is a fat, blubbery heavyweight. But Tafa gang, brother. This fucking Jesus Christ. Stinky decision. Karl Williams is lucky that he was able to get him down. If he wasn't, he would have gotten knocked out, because holy shit, his striking is horrendous. But yeah, I'm not impressed with either of these guys that much. Karl Williams won by laying on top of him, landing some decent ground and pound in rounds 1 and 2. Round 3, almost got knocked out by round 3 Justin Tafa. That's, holy shit, the state of the heavyweight division. Outside of the top 5, maybe top 7, top 8 is fucking dreadful. We move to the featured fight. Edmen Shahbazyan beat AJ Dobson by first round KO. This one hurts, because I picked AJ Dobson. Alright, I'll admit it. I picked AJ. And I was actually pretty well going into this fight. I was like, AJ's quicker than him. And it showed in the first round. He was piecing up Edmen Shahbazyan, which I don't know if that shows how washed Edmen Shahbazyan is, but, like, he was getting tagged up by AJ Dobson. But AJ was clipping him early. Edmen stayed in it, though. He survived. He recovered well, which is very good for Edmen Shahbazyan, because we've seen him when he gets hurt, he kind of wilts and just kind of folds. And then Edmen went for a takedown. He survived. And then near the end of the round, after AJ had secured it, he was tagging him up still. They were starting to get even on strikes at this point in the round. Edmen was trying to find his way in. AJ rushes in. He's throwing strikes. Edmen lands like a forearm punch on his jaw. And I swear to God, I've watched the finish 5 times in like the past 2 minutes. And I swear to God, I think AJ Dobson legit just tripped and fell over. I legit think he just tripped and fell over, and then the ground and pound strikes is what did it. Because I don't think the punch that landed would have been able to do the damage that I think he legit just like went off balance and then fell into the fence. And then because Edmen's ground and pound was pretty fucking vicious. Like, he landed on AJ's chin a couple times and landed a couple good elbows here and there. I think AJ legit just tripped over, and that hurts me even more, because AJ was winning, and a fucking trip sent him away. But that's Edmen. Edmen capitalized on it. I will admit, I like the new version of Edmen Shahbazyan. He's able to go through adversity against lower level competition, of course, but like, still, that's good for him that he's able to go through this. I'm still going to pick against him in his next fight, because beating AJ Dobson, they'll probably give him someone better. You know what I'm saying? He didn't look that good in this fight, and I still think he's slow with his hands. So, good win for Edmen. Tough for AJ Dobson, now 1-3 in the UFC. But hey, it is what it is. You live and you learn, and you know, it is what it is. He'll be back. Both of these guys will be back. They're both middleweight prospects, I guess. We move to, honestly, one of the best performances of the year so far, I'd say. I'd put it up there. Payton Talbott absolutely obliterated Cameron Saaiman, as I said he would, by the way. I knew going into this fight there was a severe size disadvantage for Cameron Saaiman, who has T-Rex arms even at bantamweight. Payton Talbott is a full-fledged bantamweight, and Payton showed it in this fight. A lot of people were picking Cameron Saaiman. I knew to pump the brakes a little bit. This Payton kid is good. And here's the thing. In that first round, even though Cameron was rocked with the step-in knee when he went for the takedown, even though he was getting hurt a lot, I thought Cameron showed some ways and paths to victory. He still had some good moments, which just shows how deep this bantamweight division is. That these two guys that just fought, they're unranked. They're unranked fighters. This was Payton Talbott's second fight in the UFC, and he's fighting Cameron Saaiman, who I think this was his fifth fight in the UFC. I think he's 3-2 now. You know, this is a big fight for both of these guys, and Payton Talbott just showed levels, which is crazy. Because Cameron Saaiman, prior to the Christian Rodriguez, hell, even after the Christian Rodriguez, everyone was like, this dude's legit. This is a legit contender. Christian Rodriguez never did anything that Payton Talbott did to Cameron Saaiman. This dude's going to be a problem. His speed, he is so damn methodical with his approach. He just walked through Cameron Saaiman. I don't want to use the term walked through, but he kind of did. He kind of walked. And also what I like about Payton Talbott, he's a little bit of an asshole. Little bit of an asshole. After the low blow, he called Cameron Saaiman a fucker. After the KO, he fucking danced on him. He's a little bit of a dickhead, and that's what we need. We need dickheads that we can root against, but for some reason, I like fighters like this. This guy he's a bit of a mean son of a bitch. And man, he's definitely a mean son of a bitch. Lucas Tracy's calling him the next, the new Sean O'Malley. I wouldn't go that far. I'd like to see him against ranked competition. But yeah, his chin is good. Cameron Saaiman landed some good shots. It just felt like a significant power difference. Whatever Payton Talbott landed, you heard a thud. You heard a smack. Whenever Cameron Saaiman landed, it sounded like nothing. So he has nothing on his strikes. Payton Talbott had everything on these strikes. He had so much sauce on these strikes. It was a gorgeous performance. Now the stoppage, some people are calling it early stoppage this, early stoppage that. I'm not mad at it. I think it could have gone a little bit longer. That's a place where being a ref's a tough job. Because you got a guy who just got dropped 10 seconds ago who is slightly recovering, but at the end sequence he's starting to just eat a bunch of ground and pound shots. It's a tough part of the job. That's a rough position to be in. Kind of reminds me of a Song Yadong Ricky Simone, where it's a really weird position for your job. Cameron Saaiman, I hope he's back. I hope he'll be back in his next fight. I hope they don't give him a fucking monster in Payton Talbott. Give him another can. And for Payton Talbott, I don't know what you do with the kid. Because I don't think they'll give him ranked opposition next. They'll put him on the main card next, of course. Hopefully on a pay-per-view. Not main card of a pay-per-view, but knowing them, they'll probably make him the first fight on there. With the way they fucking order their cards. Because this should have been the co-main event of tonight. But they made it fucking Karl Williams, Justin Tafa. They have no idea what bout orders should be. But yeah, super impressed with Payton Talbott. Super impressed. Even though I kind of thought this was going to happen, I was like, there's no way he'll just walk through him, though. There's no way. And by God, he did. So, Payton Talbott, super impressive. And holy shit, that's a big win this early on in his UFC career. We move to Youssef Zalal taking on Billy Quarantillo, who he absolutely fucked up. Holy hell. If I'm being honest, I underestimated Youssef Zalal. I don't know why they kicked him out in the first place. I forget why. He was even in the UFC, which was kind of weird. But Youssef Zalal showed levels. Again, another level showing performance, who would have known. But this was actually bad. Billy did land some stuff in that first round, but they didn't Youssef was moving out of the way in most of his shots. He was rolling with them, so they didn't do as much damage as I thought they did. But Youssef kind of fucked up Billy. Bad. This was a bad loss for Billy Quarantillo. Choked him out. You don't get... This is the first time he's ever been submitted. And the photo I have up right now, I think is the first submission attempt that he had. This isn't the actual finishing sequence, but I'll put up the actual photo later when I talk about the actual finish. But in that second round, Billy makes it to the second after getting almost finished in the first with a knee again. Goddamn, Billy ducks into knees like fucking holy hell. He ducked into 5 in this fight. And in that second round, Youssef gets to Billy's back, and he has a deep choke in. And then he rolls. Billy gives up his back. He's trying to stand up. He tries to tripod, and then Youssef pulls him down by going for the rear naked choke. And I'm like, is that under? And then it's way under. It's not even on his chin anymore. Way under. And Billy is forced to tap. And that's the first submission loss of his career. Youssef Zalal showed that he's a problem again. I doubted him. I won't doubt him again. I'm sorry, Youssef. I wasn't familiar with your game. I thought people were hyping him up. 3-fight win streak outside the UFC against absolute cans. I was like, he's gonna get fucking curb stomped by a guy like Billy with pace and pressure, but no. Billy got fucking piss stomped in this fight. It was bad. Youssef Zalal, great performance. Can't wait to see him in his next fight. Billy should take some more time off. That was a bad loss to have. That's a rough one. But, yeah, it is what it is. Billy, I hope he's back, because holy fuck, he didn't have, any success. Youssef Zalal had a lot on short notice, too, at that. So, look out for his next fight. The start of the main card, Fernando Padilla absolutely smoked Luis Pujols. Holy shit, he was able to mix his weapons together. I don't know why everyone was hyping up this Luis Pujols guy. He sucks. I don't know why people were hyping him up. I don't get it. I knew going to he's got heavy power in his hands, sure, but he sucks a little bit. He's very sloppy with his strikes. MMA Guru was like, he's the boxer from Peru. It's like, dude, Peru, you think Peru's producing a lot of good boxing talent, dude? Now, maybe I'm wrong, but I can't name a single boxer from Peru. I couldn't name you one. So, to think that this dude is going to fucking walk through fucking a guy like Fernando Padilla, who is very good. I mean, Fernando Padilla, he didn't even come close to conflict in this fight. Fernando fucking stormed through this dude. If you want a rundown of the fight, essentially what happened is Fernando Padilla has like a 6-inch reach advantage on this dude at featherweight, so of course he's going to absolutely bombard him with straight shots. At one point he had a good step-in elbow. Luis Pujols, near the actual end of the finishing sequence, is actually doing what he needs to do to win. He starts to try and bombard and press Fernando Padilla against the fence, but then Fernando Padilla, being the good striker he is, he actually tags Luis Pujols on the way in, rocks him, sets him down, starts to land good ground and pound, actually ends up on top. On the way up, Luis Pujols leaves his neck wide open, and Fernando Padilla gets a standing Darce choke, which I didn't even know you could really do that. So I learned something there. I don't think I've ever seen someone do a standing Darce choke. I've only seen the Darce on the ground. And he got out of that, and Luis Pujols immediately gave up. Everyone was like, this fucking pussy, he didn't even try and fight out of it. It is what it is, dude. And I'm going to sound like a hypocrite later in this video. I'll try and hold it in for the Ricardo Ramos fight, but Luis Pujols literally gave up right as the choke got cinched, and he didn't even try to escape. Maybe that's just how good Fernando Padilla, his submission game is, because a lot of people don't understand Fernando Padilla actually has a lot of submission wins on his record. So he probably cinched that bitch up pretty tight, and Luis Pujols, being, the younger guy that he is, he doesn't care about his record as much. He was just like, get me out of here, I just got knocked down, get me out of here. You know what I'm saying? So Fernando Padilla beat the shit out of Luis Pujols. Get him out of here! Fernando Padilla shows why he was a prospect at one point, prior to the Kyle Nelson fight. If he's able to mix his shit together, he's a problem, brother. We go to the featured prelim. Trey Ogden beat Karl Williams by unanimous decision. Pretty dominant fashion, may I say. This is another fight where I actually predicted Trey Ogden to win, and it actually paid off. I saw a lot of people picking Karl Williams, and I was like, I don't think so. I think all of the recent Ultimate Fighter winners, besides maybe Brian Battle in the recent years, kind of all suck. Alright? I think they all are kind of ass. Alright? Ricky Tercio swings 300 strikes and lands 20 of them. Karl Williams just got fraud checked by Trey Ogden, who is a head coach, who is kind of a decent fighter, and I mean, he showed it in this fight. He beat the shit out of Karl Williams. Cody Gibson didn't win, but he also got beat tonight. And then you got fucking Brad Katona, who lost to Garrett Armfield at 297. These guys suck. Okay? They all suck. They're all buns. They all are trash. Okay? I knew Trey Ogden was going to use his crafty veteran moves, even though he's younger. He's got that coaching behind him, because he is a head coach. And he is very smart in fighting. He is a very smart guy. And he kind of just took down Karl Williams, was landing good strikes on the feet, even though Karl Williams definitely landed the more significant ones. Trey was landing some solid shots, and then he went for a takedown and got, I think, almost every single one. Very good fight. Not very good fight. Very good performance from Trey Ogden. In this photo, you can see him. I don't even know what he's doing there. But that looks like it hurts a lot. He was putting a lot of shoulder pressure on Karl Williams, making him feel like he was getting submerged in the ocean. And that's good in my book. Very good win for Trey Ogden. I'm going to compose myself for this one, because I want to be mad, but I can't. Because going into this fight, I know both Julian Erosa and Ricardo Ramos are both very inconsistent fighters, and it just shows how inconsistent Ricardo Ramos is, you know? I can't even be mad. I said he reminds me of young Charles Oliveira. He's doing young Charles Oliveira things, tapping the guillotines that he could easily escape from, and just completely avoid if he stays striking with Julian Erosa, who he almost knocked out 30 seconds prior. I'm not mad at all. I'm not. And anyone that says I am, go fuck yourself. Yeah, but this is a great comeback win for Julian Erosa, who's coming off 2 KO losses and almost suffered a third one in this fight. Ricardo landed big bombs really early on in this fight, and then he started going for takedowns, which I never understand why fighters do that. Yes, it's easier to get them, because they are hurt. But just knock him down at that point. You hurt him. You made his knees buckle. Julian Erosa has the chin of a toddler. You have him hurt, Ricardo. Why are you going to the ground? Julian Erosa, 2 guillotine losses back-to-back for Ricardo Ramos. The Charles Jourdain one wasn't even like he went into it. He legit was on the ground, and Charles Jourdain just went for it, and he got it. Ricardo Ramos, I don't want to say he gave up, but I feel like he did. And I feel bad saying that, because I like Ricardo Ramos. He's very fun, entertaining. But, I mean, his head was popping out, and then Julian adjusted the choke, which was a very solid move. Because at one point it looked like Ricardo, his head's popping out. And then Ricardo tried to lift him up, but doing so, his neck went deeper into the choke, causing him to tap. So, you know, when you're a younger dude, you don't feel like, you know, going unconscious. I understand. But this one hurt a lot. Also was a confident pick of mine. So, yeah, that really shit the bed. We move to Miles Johns versus Cody Gibson. Miles Johns beat Cody Gibson by unanimous decision. And this fight, this one upset me a little bit, because I felt like Cody Gibson could have done better in this fight. If I'm being honest, I felt like he definitely could have. But it's just small little mistakes from him that caused this win to go to Miles Johns. Miles Johns, whose striking is very sloppy, looked like amazing against Cody Gibson. If that makes... Cody Gibson looked very sloppy in this fight. And that upsets me a little bit. Because Cody Gibson, he didn't look that bad against Brad Katona. He actually looked kind of slick on the feet in the first round. In this fight, he looked really bad on the feet. He kept his hands down so much. He entered in with knees and kicks like this that I have up right now so many fucking times and got cracked by right hands. He's lucky he has a good chin. Because Miles Johns' right hand was landing like on the money every fucking time. And even then, Cody Gibson had good moments on the ground. He had his back at one point, I believe. It just, this is just like an age thing. He's older. I thought Miles Johns, who does have notoriously bad cardio, which he did in this fight, he did slow down. Cody Gibson just slowed down a little quicker than Miles Johns did, and he couldn't capitalize on it either. I'm not upset about this one either. This was just a bad pick from me. I believe so. Like the AJ Dobson one, I'm not going to regret that pick. I stand by that pick. I think AJ Dobson wins that fight a majority of the time. This fight, I don't see Cody Gibson beating Miles Johns at all. I think he loses 10 out of 10 times. This is just a bad pick for me. And it is what it is. You know, Cody Gibson wasn't able to apply more pressure. He kind of just got tagged a lot. And that's what won him the fight. That's what won Miles Johns the fight. He tagged him. He won 30-27. Good win for Miles Johns on short notice. Get back in the win column after his last fight was turned over to a no contest. Get him back in there. You know, he's now turning 30. Cody Gibson, I don't know what you do with him. What's his record in the UFC now? Like 1-5, 1-6? Yeah, I don't know what you do with him. But Miles Johns, good win for him. I think this photo does this fight just about enough justice. I don't think this fight needs to. Jarno Aarons beats Stephen Wynn. very good win for Jarno Aarons, a very needed win for Jarno Aarons, and possibly his best performance to date against Stephen Wynn. This performance was very impressive from Jarno Aarons, if I'm being honest. Very, very impressive. Stephen Wynn, who does look sharp on the feet, who is kind of known for having weird boxing defense, Jarno Aarons capitalized heavy. He rocked Stephen Wynn in every round, and I think he dropped him in rounds 2 and 3. Did he drop him in round 1? I can't remember. He definitely dropped him in round 2, and I think he dropped him in round 3. Very powerful performance from Jarno Aarons. Stephen Wynn, these guys both got pretty bloody, but Stephen Wynn looked like he was a fucking zombie. He was getting tagged around a lot. Jarno Aarons was nullifying any sense of danger. He didn't really get clipped by Stephen Wynn at all. It was mostly Jarno Aarons doing most of the damage, off the back foot as well. He would lunge in with uppercuts and stuff, and that would tag Stephen Wynn a lot. And Stephen Wynn, when he started to get sloppier, he kept getting tagged even more and more and more, because he started getting even sloppier than his traditional tactical striking. And Jarno Aarons kind of just capitalized on every little mistake Stephen Wynn did. And Stephen Wynn, when he started to get tagged up a lot, he went away from his game plan. He stopped throwing leg kicks. He stopped, because Jarno Aarons also went for leg kicks, and I think that's what got him this win, if I'm being honest. The straight shots and the uppercuts were very good, but the leg kicks of Jarno Aarons really fucked up the leg of Stephen Wynn. His leg was fucked up. They kept mentioning how he was rolling his ankle a whole lot. I don't know if it was the peroneal nerve, but he got fucked up in this fight. Stephen Wynn got fucked up. This is a bad loss to have. Very good win for Jarno Aarons. Very impressed. This is like the first time he's really put it all together. Very good win for Jarno Aarons. Stays in the UFC. If he would have dropped this one, he's probably out of the promotion. He gets another contract with this. Very fun fight. Stephen Wynn, I don't know how much deeper they need to go for this kid to get a win in the UFC, because the UFC likes Stephen Wynn. I like Stephen Wynn. He's a fun guy, but I don't know how deep they need to go to get this guy a win in this division, because it's a deep division. So I'm very impressed with Jarno Aarons. Good shit. Again, another one-photo fight. Daria Zalesnikova makes good on the debut against Montserrat Rendon. Pretty close fight, but I think it was kind of clear that Daria won more of the rounds with her striking. But this just shows that she is not a good contender, if I'm being honest. If Montserrat Rendon had any finishing bone in her body, she could have won this fight. If she was a bit faster, she could have won this fight, but she just isn't. She's not the right fit for a girl like Daria. Daria's ground game is very shitty. It's still very raw, talent-wise. Her striking looked pretty good, but even then, Montserrat was landing some good shots on her. But Daria was landing the more significant strikes. Even though, and also Daria balloons up pretty quick. She shows damage a lot, and I don't like that at women's bantamweight. She could have arguably gotten this fight away from her if the judges went on visible damage, because Daria looked like a fucking clown at the end of the fight with how red her face was. But I think this fight went the right way. I'd have to rewatch it, because if I'm being honest, my brother, midway through this fight, called me and asked about the Igor Severino situation, which I'll talk about next. But yeah, I wasn't really paying that much attention to this fight. I thought Daria, the first round was close. I forgot who I gave it to. The rounds are pretty close, though. Like, all 3 rounds are very close. But it is what it is. I wouldn't have been mad if it would have been given to Montserrat Rendon, because I don't really care that much about this fight. But what are you going to do about it? I think Daria did deserve it, though. She looked like she was landing the more powerful shots from the corner of my eye when I was watching. Montserrat did show a lot of holes in Daria's game, though, like I said, with the ground and clinch. If there's a stronger lady and a better lady that Daria fights, she'll get fucked up, alright? And yeah, it just, like I said, Montserrat's slow. That's what caused her to lose this fight. She's so damn slow, man. Yeah, it is what it is. We move to the biggest storyline from the entire card on the second fight of the card. André Lima versus Igor Severino. Where do I even fucking start? This fight, by the way, was badass for as long as it lasted up until the incident. Igor and André in the first round are exchanging strikes. They're beating the shit out of each other. André, they both land step-in elbows. André Lima takes the first round. All right, that's for sure. I think one of the judges gave the first round to Igor Severino, which is total bullshit. Even though he did start to push the pace, you cannot argue that André didn't do more damage in that first. He fucking almost knocked him out. He had him out on his legs. We go to the second round. André starts to slow down. And by the way, prior to the bite, can I just say this? There were a whole lot of cheating going on from both of these guys. André Lima grabbed the fence, I shit you not, 8 times in this fight. So many times. And going into the second round, André Lima starts to slow down because he's so muscular for the division. I'm going to show the photo of the bite after that. But look how fucking big his bicep is. His bicep's huge in the photo of the bite. In the photo of the bite. So, going into the second round, Igor Severino starts to pick up the pace. He's starting to outclass André Lima on the fence. André Lima can't get off the fence. He's starting to get tagged up on the feet. He's starting to lose the fight. Igor gets him down to the ground. He's starting to get takedowns by his own will at this point because Andre's starting to slow down. André can't defend him. He's also a black belt, so he's kind of willingly going to the ground with him, trying to maybe find a sub. But the one that ends the fight, André grabs the fence, and then they stop grabbing the fence from Chris Tione, and then he gets up, and he has his head against the fence. And then there's a moment where Igor, at first, it looks like he's grabbing and hooking the glove of André Lima. And Andre's like, what the fuck? And then we see him go like, whoa, whoa. And then Chris Tione's like, whoa, stop. And Igor doesn't stop, and then he pulls him off. And André lifts his arm. And we don't know what's going on. We don't know what's happening during the broadcast, during watching live. They think that he's trying to get caught for hooking his glove. That's what the broadcast is saying. And on Chris Tione's hot mic, you can hear he bit him. So, and then they call off the fight. Everyone's like, what the fuck? That's a terrible decision to stop the fight. You don't know. But then they show the bite marks. And I'm going to show you the bite marks right here. That's pretty obvious he bit him. He sunk his teeth in. You know how hard you gotta bite with a mouth guard to leave fucking teeth dents? What the fuck, man? I picked Igor Severino. I was so pissed. Because Igor was starting to gain a lot of fucking momentum. And he fucking bites André. He fucking bit him. This is the way my fighters fucking lose. He's my new favorite fighter. Igor Severino is my new favorite fighter. He's gonna be my fucking channel, fucking header. This dude's my favorite fight. He fucking bit a guy in a UFC fight. And of course, the main headline is that he bit him and then he got cut from the UFC. Which, take it as you will. I see some people like Lucas Tracy saying that he shouldn't have been cut. He should have gotten suspended. But I think getting cut is probably the correct response. You don't want people that bite people to be in the UFC. That's kind of like a really harsh... Like, he obviously bit him. Like, you can't be like, oh, he didn't mean to do it. He obviously meant to fucking bite the dude. Like, there was teeth marks. Like, he intentionally bit down on him. Like, you don't leave those teeth marks just like, I'm gonna rest my mouth here. He obviously bit down. This it's my favorite fight on the card. It was so fun, too, that I wish Igor didn't get cut, though, because he is such a fun fighter. He'll be back. He's only 20 years old. He'll grow up. God damn, this fight was so funny. The first fight of the night, man, that photo was so fucking funny. Muhammad Usman versus Mick Parkin. Mick Parkin won. I just rewatched that third round back, which I think is the definition of, like, not the definition, but definitely the round in question to decide who wins this fight. And I don't know why people thought this was a robbery. I think it was pretty clear that Mick did more in that third round and won it pretty clearly. I don't know if people really think that Mo won round 2. There's no way he won round 2. It was pretty clearly Mick Parkin. Close fight between two heavyweight, Prospects? Are these really prospects, guys? Come on. Let's be honest. Both of these guys looked dog shit. I'll be the first one to tell you. Both of these guys are bad. This photo is so fucking funny. Look at look at fucking Mo's face. This next photo is kind of like basically what the third round was Mo whiffing his shots. He landed a couple good body jabs, which I thought is what he was going to do more, but he didn't. I like the body straight from Mo. He threw it a couple times, landed sometimes. But he wasn't able to find his mark. In the first round, he rocked him pretty good. He cut open Mick, won the first round pretty clearly, even though it was close. Mo, I think, is just a little small for heavyweight, which is wild. But then you realize this dude weighs in at like 237. If he was able to cut a little bit of sloppy weight and then be able to cut weight down to 205, maybe Mo would be a bit of a problem. But I think he's just too small for heavyweight, if I'm being honest. Just too small. Also, no wrestling from either guy, which is kind of shocking because I thought Mo would try and muscle his way in there in the clinch, make it dirty, but he chose to go with a tit-for-tat fight, which Mick Parkin will win 90% of the time, maybe 99% of the time. His skills are just a bit better than Mo's. And yeah, Mick got the win. Mick was the pick, and I didn't pick Mick, because I think Mick is dog shit. Bars, homie. UFC Vegas 89 was way more fun than it should have been. I went 6-7 on my picks and 0-3 on my confident picks. 2 weeks in a row that I went negative. I don't know, man. I went too close to the sun on some of these picks. Some of them were just straight up bad. I think my Billy Quarantillo pick was dog shit. I probably shouldn't have picked Cody Gibson. Looking back on it, I kind of just thought he was going to be able to capitalize on the cardio, but he didn't. He also kind of slows down. We got 2 more weeks of this until the big one, UFC 300 next week. We go to Atlantic City, which is actually kind of a fun card. Some fun fights on there. Should have some good knockouts. Some of those guys are looking like some, finishers on there. The main event, yet another women's MMA main event, but it actually should be good. Manon Fiorot, Aaron Blanchfield. I'm actually looking forward to that one. So, and then after that, we got the rematch between Brendan Allen, Chris Curtis, and then UFC 300. So, only a couple weeks away, fellas. Buckle in. We got 2 more fight nights. Oh, man. I hope I do well. I'm going to start my main event pick streak now. I will not miss another one for the rest of the year. I promise you that.